Hi Poke fans, Harry here, and welcome to my first Pokemon video under the channel with its new title, The Whovian Pokefan. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I've changed the channel. It's now no longer called Harry Whittle. It's The Whovian Pokefan, and I will link a video explaining all about it in the cards above, and it's basically, I want to be more consistent with uploads, and also changing the channel, of course, to be more orientated towards Doctor Who and Pokemon. And also, if you have any videos that you want me to cover, if you have any subjects, of course, related to Doctor Who and Pokemon that you want covered in a video, leave that down in the comments below, and I will turn those into a video. But this video is about the second episode of Ash Ketchum's last ever series in the Pokemon anime called Winds of Beginning, The Endless Road. So before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe, also leave a like and comment down below, and let's get into the video. So of course, this video will contain major spoilers for the Winds of Beginning, The Endless Road. So if you haven't watched that, just be warned. Major plot spoilers for that episode. So let's get into it. So the episode starts with Ash and Pikachu coming to a crossroads. Now this is actually Ash and Pikachu from the Pokemon Journeys anime. This is the Ash we've seen from Kanto all the way to Galar, and you might think, well, it's a bit, of course it would be the Ash from Pokemon Journeys, but last episode, Pokemon The Distant Blue Sky, that was actually the Ash from the I Choose You, The Power of Us, and The Secrets of the Jungle movie. So that Ash hadn't travelled through Kanto and Galar all the way through that. It was only in the movies we'd seen him in, but this is the main timeline version of Ash that we've seen since the start. So they come to a crossroads, and of course crossroads are a big thing in Pokemon, as him and his companions come to a crossroad every time they part with each other, and that was from Gens 1 to 4 and also Gens 8. So he did this with Brock and Misty, of course in Kanto and Johto. He did this with Brock, May and Max in Hoenn, and he did this with Brock when they had finished travelling in the Sinnoh region with each other, and of course he also parted at a crossroads with Go. All the other parting with companions has not been at a crossroads. And then the theme song plays, but I have done breakdowns of them already. I will link it up in the cards above. I actually did a breakdown on all the pictures, where all the pictures they used in the theme song have come from in the Pokemon anime past. And I also did another breakdown on the lyrics of the Pokemon theme song. I will link that up in the cards above. So I've done a breakdown of the theme song, so go check out those videos if you haven't already. But moving past that, into the episode, we see Ash and Pikachu cross a river. However, Ash suddenly falls in the water, but suddenly then jumps out as 3 Magikarp bite his bum. Now maybe this is a reference to Magikarp Jump, which is a mobile game basically about Magikarp jumping and you work your way up. But make sure your Magikarp doesn't jump too high, as it might get carried away by a flying Pokemon. But in the actual episode, Pikachu then thunderbolts the Magikarp, so they get off Ash, but he actually also electrocutes Ash, like Pikachu has done many times in the anime in the past. And moving past that, Ash and Pikachu swing through vines in this forest before falling after being distracted by a Kakuna. And this is a reference to Ash's Unovan companion Iris, who always swung on vines, and we actually saw it in her first appearance in The Shadow of Zekrom, the first episode of the Pokemon anime, and also in Pokemon Black and White in the episode Ash and Trip's third battle, which is actually the first and only time Ash and Trip battle 3 against 3. And the only time they draw against each other, and this is when Ash and Iris are swinging on vines while Silent cooks their lunch, and that's when they run into Trip, and when Ash and Trip decide to have a 3-on-3 battle. However, the Kakuna falls with Ash and Pikachu, and it then evolves into a Beedrill, which Ash and Pikachu are afraid will attack them, like Beedrills have done in the past many times, like for instance the previous episode, Pokemon The Distant Blue Sky, where a bunch of Beedrills attack them. Fortunately it doesn't though, it just flies away. We then go to the Ketchum household and we see Mr. Mime sweeping up leaves and Delia watering flowers with the squirt bottle, and this squirt bottle was first seen in the Johto photo finish, which was the final episode of the Johto League. And Professor Oak cycles up to them, and it looks similar to a scene in the second Pokemon movie, The Power of One, also known as Pokemon the Movie 2000. Although it came out in 1999 in Japan, which I just think is funny because it was called Pokemon the Movie 2000, however it came out 1 year before the year 2000 in Japan. And we get a look inside the Ketchum household and we see a picture on the mantle which is from Pokemon Ultimate Journeys, the episode Ash and Go, setting off on a new journey, which is actually the final Ultimate Journeys episode before we moved into Ash's final series, of course the Aim to Be a Pokemon Master series. So the picture on the mantle shows Ash with all his friends that he found in the Galar region in the Journeys anime. And Delia tells Professor Oak that Ash's goal is to make more friends, which makes Professor Oak think of a poem, and of course Professor Oak is known for reciting poems, and he recites this one, and he mentions 151 Pokemon, or Pokemon 151, which could be a reference to the outro of this episode. More on that later in this video. But talking about the number of Pokemon, 151 is how many Pokemon are in the Kanto Pokedex, and Pokemon 151 is actually Mew, which played a big role in the Project Mew arc in the Pokemon Journeys anime, which was a task force that tracked down Mew. But back to this episode, Ash and Pikachu come across Team Rocket and they capture Pikachu. However, Ash reveals he has other Pokemon with him, and this is just amazing. I've always wanted to see more of Ash's old Pokemon. And it is revealed that he has Noivern, which Ash's Halucha found as an egg, and it shortly hatched after into a Noibat in X and Y in the episode A Not So Flying Start, and it evolved later in the series X, Y and Z in the episode An Electrifying Rage, which was to actually save Ash's Halucha from a Zapdos. And it is also revealed he has Donphan, which Ash received as an egg in the Master Quest arc in the episode Extreme Pokemon, and it later hatched into a Phanpy in the Master Quest arc episode Hatching a Plan. And it later evolved in the Battle Frontier episode Reversing the Charges, which was to stop Team Rocket from capturing Pikachu. A nice little parallel to its appearance now and its first appearance as a Donphan. And it is also revealed he has Sceptile as well, which Ash catched in the Advanced series in the episode Trees a Crowd, and later evolved into a Grovyle while battling an opposing trainer's Loudred, which also evolved into an Exploud. And it later evolved into a Sceptile in the Battle Frontier arc episode An Odd Pokemon Out, to stop Team Rocket. So like Donphan, the first episode in its final evolved form, it evolved to stop Team Rocket, and it is now stopping Team Rocket in this episode. So just a nice parallel between its first episode as a Sceptile and this episode. And also, this is the first time Ash has rotated his team since Adventures in Unova and Beyond, which was in the episode Butterfree and Me, which was 435 episodes earlier. And that Pokemon that he rotated in was Leavanny. And I think it's just really cool that we're getting in past Pokemon, giving them more spotlight, giving them more time to shine in the Pokemon anime, as of course this will be the last series we'll see them in, maybe forever. We might never see them again. But of course, the team of Noivern, Donphan and Sceptile are enough to break Pikachu free from Team Rocket's grip, and Pikachu sends Team Rocket blasting off again, and as they blast off, they knock into an invisible Latias. That we learn later, Latias can reflect light to make it invisible, so it seems mostly invisible, and we see it fall into a pond, and Ash also sees this, and it was revealed he has also brought back Buizel, which was actually from the Diamond and Pearl anime, which Dawn catches in the episode Buizel Your Way Out of This, and then she traded it to Ash for his Apom in the Battle Dimension arc episode Throw In the Track Switch. And of course, Weasel makes easy work of being able to push Latios out of the pond and get it to dry land, where Ash can try and heal it. But before we get into the next part of the episode, I want to touch on the returning Pokemon Ash has. Again, I said we have Donphan, Weasel, Sceptile, and also Noivern that have returned, and it has been a long time since we last saw them. Again, the last time Ash rotated his team around was in the episode Butterfree and Me, back in the series Adventures in Univers and Beyond, and of course that Pokemon was Leavanny. So it has been even longer since we've seen Donphan, Buizel, Sceptile and Noivern. So I want to go over their last appearances. Of course, the last time Ash's Donphan had a major role in the Pokemon anime was in the Sinnoh League Victors arc episode Working on a Right Move, where it helped with Ash's Shiny Noctowl and his Gible to defeat Conway so he would advance on. The last time Ash's Weasel had a major role in the Pokemon anime was in the Sinnoh League Victors arc episode A Real Rival Riser, where it helped Ash, of course, in his battle versus Paul, and it actually defeated Paul's Gastrodon. And the last time Ash's Sceptile had a major role in the Pokemon anime was also in the Sinnoh League Victors arc, but in the episode The Semi-Final Frontier, where it actually took out Tobias's Darkrai, and that was just amazing. And last but not least, Ash's Noivern. Its last major role, of course, was not in the Sinnoh League Victors arc, as Noivern didn't come along until Generation 6. So its last major role was in the series X, Y, and Z in the episode Till We Compete Again, where Ash and his team are recovering and recuperating from their battle with Alan in the final of Carlos League, and also their battle to stop Team Flare from destroying the whole world. But moving back into this episode, Ash starts to help Latias feel better. However, unfortunately, Team Rocket stumble upon them, and their Rotom phone that they got from Giovanni in the Journeys anime in the episode Flash of the Titans tells them that Latias is a legendary Pokemon. And the last time we saw Latias in the anime was actually in a minor role in Hooper and the Class of Ages, where it was helping to protect the small Hooper from Hooper Unbound. And the last major role Latias had in a Pokemon anime was in the Pokemon movie Pokemon Heroes Latios and Latias, where Latias was trying to help save her brother, of course, the Latios. And yes, the Latias in the Pokemon Heroes movie was the one that loved Ash and actually kissed him when she was disguised in human form as a girl named Bianca. So it's just for the best that this Latias is not the one from Pokemon Heroes. But unfortunately, Latias's condition doesn't look good, but Ash helps care through it throughout the night, and in the morning, Latias wakes up, but it doesn't trust Ash and his Pokemon, and to make things even worse, Team Rocket turns up and sucks up Latios with this machine, and Ash dives in after Latios to try and save it. However, Latias and Ash both end up in this kind of glass ball where they can't escape, and Ash commands Pikachu to use Thunderbolt, even though it will hit him, and Pikachu manages to break Latias and Ash free, leading to Latias trusting Ash and to fly away whilst holding Ash so that neither of them fall to the ground. And earlier in this episode, I said that Team Rocket managed to capture Pikachu and actually accounted for Pikachu's electric-type moves, but they didn't account for Ash's Sceptile, Donphan and Noivern. But this time, they built their balloon to deal with Sceptile, Donphan and Neuven, and not Pikachu. So both times they've been sent off, blasting off again. And after saving Ash and bringing him down to his Pokemon, Latias turns invisible and flies off. And then the Pokemon music that I think has played in every episode starts again, and the narrator says that Ash and Pikachu's adventure continues. And Ash and Pikachu walk off into the horizon, but then we cut back and we see that Latias is actually following Ash and Pikachu. A bit like how Ash's Apom followed Ash and Pikachu to Sinnoh in the Battle Frontier episode, Home is Where the Start Is, and also Oshawott, which followed Ash and Pikachu as they started their adventure in the Unova region in Black and White episode Enter Iris and Axio. So it's just fun to see that Latias is following Ash and Pikachu, and maybe Ash might even catch Latias at the end of this anime arc. And then the outro plays, and it is actually the Japanese outro of the first Pokemon series, the Indigo League. So we haven't heard that in ages. But it's just nice to bookend Ash's whole series, as his final outro is the same as the first outro in his first series. And after the outro, the Pokemon wrap-up shows Team Rocket in Paldea, and they come across Koraidon in its full power form. But of course Koraidon sent Team Rocket blasting off again. And of course this is teasing the new Pokemon anime, Pokemon Horizons. It's just a shame that we won't have Team Rocket or Ash and Pikachu in Paldea. And I really can't wait for the next episode. This episode was so amazing, so many hidden Easter eggs and little details, and I can't wait, as there will be a returning companion of Ash's in the next episode. But let me know down in the comments below, were you excited about this episode, and are you excited for the next episode as well? And also, let me know down in the comments below what you think of the new channel title and what kind of Pokemon videos you want me to cover on this channel moving forward. And if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, also subscribe and share it out, and I will see you in the next one.